director of choirs at Topeka High School, and this is the Topeka High Madrigals. We just had our, thank you. We just had our Feast of Carols last night, which is our winter concert with band and orchestra, and we are very excited in the middle of finals week to be here with you all. Yes, so we have some music for you. We will sing Fum Fum Fum, which is a traditional song that Topeka High sings every year. We will sing a spiritual Mary Had a Baby, and we will sing Snow from White Christmas with our accompanist, Miss Hannah Burton. And then we have some other wintry Christmas things which need no introduction that you will know. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everybody for being here today. Thursday, December 15th. We appreciate it. We'll go ahead and get this meeting started, and we'll begin with a Ms. Lister.
All right, Mrs. Bull. Mr. Munoz.
Here.
Mrs. Stewart Campbell. Dr. Bonebreak. No. Mrs. Schmidt. Is she online? No, okay. And Dr. Schumacher. And Mr. Tatum, I know was absent. We do have a quorum.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lister. We'll go and turn it back over to the Madrigals.
Okay, we'd love to hear what your names are and what grade you are in school. If you are a senior and you know what you're going to do next year, we'd love to hear that as well. And then your principal is here with us, and the board will just kind of come on up with your instructors and we'll take a photo. We know it takes great instruction and support in order to develop incredible talent like this. So,
Hello, my name is Kristen and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Jordan Jackson and I am also a sophomore. My name is Jasmine Edmonston and I'm a junior. My name is Eden Wallace and I'm a senior.
My name is Jamie Ramos and I'm a senior, and next year I'm going to K-State for environmental science.
My name is Zachary Rivera and I am a junior.
And I'm a senior, and next year I plan on attending K-State for majoring in theater, and I'll also be trying out for their cheer team.
My name is Grady Johnson. I'm also a senior, and next year I will be attending the University of Kansas to double major in sport management and sports media.
My
name is Kamara Walker. I'm a senior and next year I plan on attending Washburn University for music education.
Hi, my name is Kira Troop and I'm a senior and I'm undecided to try to pick my school, but I want to major in political science pre-law.
My name is Autumn Lane and I will be going somewhere to study elementary education.
I'm Hannah Burton and I'm the accompanist.
My name is Alex Piazza and I'll be at Topeka High next year.
our principal to come and join. And have you already had an interview for your teaching job for 4 years from now? Oh my. So before you leave, Dr. New will give you her card. So anybody that is a senior in good standing, if they are interested in coming back to Topeka, we will offer you your contract 4 years early. So you already know that you have a job waiting for you. We're excited about that. All right. So Walker, music education, right?
Yes.
We're going to connect with Dr. New as well. Mr. Munoz, the next thing, the pledge, we do have a student waiting online, so perhaps we'll proceed with that, adopt the agenda and go to our formal school highlights.
That sounds great. Yes, love to you to have start off with our Pledge of Allegiance. And as always, in every meeting, we have a special individual who leads us in that pledge. And Dr. Anderson, who do we have leading us in the pledge today?
We're so excited. We're going to pull up Jardine Elementary. They're at school right now. So our principal and our student is on together. The holiday cards that you have this year were produced because we had a holiday contest. So we have two amazing artists. And today, Camille Clark from Jardine Elementary, she's a fifth grader. She'll be leading us in the pledge. Can we either pull up Camille's picture or pull up Miss Pomeroy? We see the board, and the board, while they look pretty, we'd like to see Camille if we could. As we prepare to stand for the pledge, I do want to announce as well. Oh, there she is. You look lovely. So she's at Jardine Elementary. The other student that also won is Daria Flagg from Quincy Elementary. Those are the Christmas cards, the holiday cards for this year for Topeka Public Schools. And we'll turn it over to Miss Clark and her principal, Miss Pomeroy.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Camille, that was the best pledge we've had all year. And you ended us off with a fantastic year. We know that you have a lot going on at school. So right now, there may not be a lot of time for questions as we spoke with the principal earlier, but Camille is certainly on standby because any compliments or comments you'd like to make to Camille this morning about her card, her holiday card, or the pledge, we offer that as well. And my apologies, Quincy was on as well. I'm so sorry, Quincy, down below. So Daria Flagg was here. Can you wave, Daria, as well? Oh, and your certificate is on the screen. Both of you have that. It's being delivered today. So thank you, Ms. Crow, Ms. Flagg, and Ms. Clark, and Ms. Pomeroy. All right, we're going to turn it over to the board for any comments about those holiday cards and the pledge.
First off, I just want to congratulate both of you all for the work that you've done, put into creating these Christmas cards. I know for myself, and I'm sure for many of my colleagues, we have written notes and sent them to individuals who are important to us. And on the front of that is your artwork. So it is a huge accomplishment, and we hope we'll see lots more of your artwork in the future. Any other comments from colleagues? Yes, Mrs. Stewart Campbell.
Yeah, I'll just say the same. I love your cards. I use them. I send them out to people. So your artwork is going out across the country and maybe even a few other countries. So good job.
Congratulations again to both of you. It's a huge recognition. Yes, Ms. Bowley.
Do either of you plan on having a future in art, maybe going to college and studying art there?
I could be an artist.
Kind of, yeah.
At fifth grade and fourth grade, kind of art is an area of opportunity amongst many. Again, we just want to congratulate the two of you and know that your artwork, we have 13,000, almost 13,000 students in this district. We have over 2,000 staff members. So that means 15,000 people at least have seen your artwork. And it's put on our webpage and it's going out to people and companies all over Topeka. I know that's a lot. So your artwork, you're really famous. Your artwork is famous. And we are so proud of both of you. Any final comments, President Munoz, from anyone before we turn it over?
Where else? No, I think again, just congratulations to both of you. You all done an amazing work working on this, and you deserve this recognition.
Excellent job. And thank you for joining us for the pledge, Mr. Flagg and Ms. Clark. Our next recognition or highlight, we are so excited. This has been quite the year for Topeka. We've had Kansas Teacher of the Year finalists. We've had all kinds of other awards and finalists in various categories. But we're ending the year with another Kansas Person of the Year. Rather than me introducing, we'd like for you to join us in watching this video. Then we're going to turn it over to Principal Pierce from Whitson Elementary, who's going to give a little intro to one woman who really needs no introduction. She is known across the state for many reasons, but let's start with the video.
Miss Jacobs won for the entire state of Kansas the Kansas Counselor of the Year Award. She's representing all of Kansas, and she does so all the time in all of her consulting work and things that she does. I mean, it's a huge honor because she does so much within our community and for our students. To be recognized means the world to all of us.
It is such an honor. You know, I got into school counseling to help people, and I didn't realize how many adults I would be helping as well. So every single day we impact kids with their social emotional learning, with their academics, how we can help them in their future every single day.
I've just been able to see her grow and get to know families and kids. So her impact goes far beyond just these walls here at Whitson, because she does do so much work within the community and within the state of Kansas with counselors.
Thank you all so much for all of the things that you do for kiddos every single day, whether you're a teacher, a school counselor, an administrator, a paraeducator. Thank you so much.
Congratulations and thank you, Miss Jacobs. We are so proud of you here at Whitson.
Join me in applauding both Principal Pierce and Miss Mallory Jacobs, the 2023 Kansas Counselor of the Year.
Good afternoon to all of the board and Dr. Anderson. She does need no introduction, that is for sure, but Miss Jacobs is an integral part of every single piece of how Whitson is ran, and I could not have the success that we do with kids and supporting families and students all across Whitson without this lady right behind me. So this is well overdue, and we are so proud of her, and I'm so glad that we were able to surprise her in the way we did at a whole school assembly last week, and parents were there because it was also a program for students. So one more time, give it up for Miss Mallory Jacobs.
All so much. Again, like Mrs. Pierce said, it was quite the shock. I love working for Topeka Public Schools. I've been here for 10 years at Whitson, so I have had the chance to work with many families, and I want to thank all of you for allowing school counselors to do their job in schools. It's not like this everywhere in every district, so thank you, and thank you for following the ASCA guidelines with the school counselor ratio. So I appreciate this so much, and thank you for allowing us to come today. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Most unique, creative individual. Or otherwise. So with that, we're going to turn it over with knowing all the roles that she does lead, not only in Topeka Public Schools, but across the state. If you haven't seen the K-State video highlighting mental health, it highlights Miss Jacobs. They selected Topeka because of Miss Jacobs. So she's a pretty phenomenal person, as was stated, well overdue. We'll turn it over to you, President Munoz.
Thank you so much. Are there questions from the rest of our, first off, congratulations on this. This is a huge, it sounds like a huge recognition for your work and for individuals who do your line of work, who help our students be successful. They couldn't be as successful as they are without individuals like yourself to help them in their time of need. Dr. Schumacher, did you have a question for Ms. Jacobs?
That microphone's not working. So first of all, congratulations. Thank you very much for everything you do. I'm always interested in hearing what a normal day is for you, kind of the different ways that you help the staff and the children? And also though, maybe like what's a successful day for you as well?
What a great question. I think normal we can all kind of laugh at, especially around this time of year. I am able to go and greet families and students, whether I'm in the breakfast room or in the hallways as they arrive. Sometimes I meet kids and help them to their classrooms. And sometimes I get to help parents with that drop off. Sometimes that's hard, especially if they're new to Topeka Public Schools or new to Whitson. And then I get to go and have the fun in the classrooms. I get to go in once a week to classrooms and talk about social skills, how to introduce yourself, what a good friend is, and then also get to help with other things, as well as run meetings with general education intervention, and then also help adults and staff as well. And then I think a success story is getting to see those children really understand what we are trying to do. At Whitson, we talk about the warrior way. It's our 4 character words, and just seeing them come full circle to see what it means to be a warrior and how we can relate that to other areas of our life. Thank you.
Ms. Spolie.
I don't know that I've had the opportunity to thank you. When I see your face, I always think of when we immediately went into shutdown for COVID. And all of a sudden, your face would appear on our website and talk so calmly to the children and let them know that everything was going to be okay. And so just for that, I think you are a hero. I think that was so calming for kids to know that we were all still here waiting for them, still here if they needed us. And you just had such a calming voice during that time. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to really thank you. And it's just no surprise to me that you have this award. So congratulations. And we know you'll represent us so well. Thank you.
Well, again, congratulations on this. Yeah, we're so glad that you're able to be here and for us to be able to talk with you, meet with you, and get to know the reasons why this award was bestowed on you. Congratulations again. Yeah.
That does conclude our highlights. We'll be asking Ms. Jacob, Ms. Pierce, just to take a quick step right here because the board will take a photo with you. So they can be the first official photo for the Kansas 2023 Counselor of the Year. And that does conclude our highlights. For those that haven't come to a board meeting, know that since 2016, the first 20 minutes is about love and joy and loving on people. And that's what we do every board meeting, the first 15, 20 minutes. So this does conclude the last acknowledgement.
Okay, 3.
And good stuff, good stuff. All right, Mr. Munoz, we will turn it back on over to you, sir.
All right. Well, this has been such a ride here, meeting individuals, our madrigals, as well as Miss Jacobs and our students who have won these recognition for their artwork. And while it'd be great to be able to, I want to continue the sort of the festive moments that we've sort of enjoyed. There's also a recognition that we've lost a few students recently, and I want to make sure that we make sure and honor their memory. Recently, in a tragic accident, we've lost 2 students who were well known and who were amazing individuals. And first off, I want to sort of recognize Eric Gonzalez del Real, and also one of our current students, Michael Tolan, who we lost tragically in an accident. And as well, as if it wasn't enough, we also lost a vibrant young lady, Alice McClanahan, at Jardine Elementary. So I'd like to ask everybody for a moment of silence for a minute to honor their memories as individuals, to hold their families in our hearts and in our minds, as well as those in our schools who knew these individuals. So let's take a minute of silence in honor of their memory. Thank you, everyone, for that moment. It won't soon be forgotten. Moving on to some other business is, take a look at, first off on our agenda is our adoption of that agenda. Is there a motion for an adoption?
Mr. President, I move the board approve the agenda as presented.
All right, thank you very much. There has been a motion. Is there a second? All right, second by Dr. Schumacher. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. Ms. Lister. All right, thank you very much, Ms. Lister. Let's see, Dr. Anderson, we have covered all of our school highlights. Is that correct? Okay. Next item on our agenda is public comments, and I believe we do have one individual who has signed up. Let's take a look here. Miss Sandra Lassiter, are you here? All right. Thank you very much for being here, for being willing to speak. Ms. Lassiter, I'm going to read you some comments here before you speak, and then we'll go ahead and move from there. So please come forward and state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to address the board. We ask that your remarks to the board be respectful. If you should have a complaint against a specific employee, we ask that you submit your written complaint to the superintendent. If the complaint is against the superintendent, please address your written complaint either to me as board president or to the clerk of the board. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Sandra Lassiter, 4210 Gage. I want to commend Mrs. Jacobs again, as she talked about responsible and productive citizens in many of our students in 501 schools. I've had the opportunity of functioning as a counselor, as principal in 501 as well. So I would hope at some time that maybe we would be able to commend the basketball players and Mr. Gio Lyons from Topeka High as well, as we are commending these others, because they were involved with an incident where they just demonstrated tremendous, stalwart, kind of presence. Mr. Gio Lyons, you happen to be one of my Cheerios kids. So that always means rise to the top. They were words that were hurtful. They suffered from this community, the stench of putrefaction. And I think those young men arose to the occasion, as we are Brown v. Board Center of the US of A. I wondered, my second question is, where were the refs? And if anybody that don't know about the incident, has been addressed more than one way. But where were the refs? Were they responsible to protect these children? Do they have a policy to keep them safe? Wondered about, if they didn't have the policy to do it, or they didn't enforce that, did they even have the courage or the integrity to stand with our young people? As I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about, it seems like that there is a program that may be in place in this particular area about diversity and maybe even courageous conversation. So these people can understand that we are all the same. 99.9% of human beings are all the same. And the only difference is the melanin in our skin, 0.1%. There are some people that are so full of hatred and foolishness and stupidity, they do not understand that. Our children handle this so well, to be hated only because of their color of their skin. They didn't act out. I understand they didn't cuss, fuss, or act a fool or any of that. They acted very appropriately. I did a program in one of my schools on multicultural. I had teachers come forth and I said, let's do a multicultural, not about African Americans, not about Mexicans, not about Latinos, not about Native Americans, but about you, about your ancestry. Let's go back and talk about, are you German? Are you Swedish? Are you Danish? Who are you? One teacher came back and said, Sandy, I was so delighted because I found there's a town in Germany named after my family. Oh, she was thrilled. But she said, I went back to my great-great-grandfather and I found out that he came through Ellis Island. You know, the immigrants from Europe came through Ellis Island as well. And she said, but he was a dark white. I didn't realize they divided us between the white and the dark white. So he had to live in another area of New York.
Ms. Lassiter, we are at 3 minutes. Could you want to wrap it up in just 10 seconds or so?
I can't wrap it up in 10 seconds.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And that is that I'm going back to school and I'm going to share our book with the patchwork quilt. And if you know anything about the patchwork quilt, actually, this is my aunt. That's Bishop Lassiter's aunt from New York. And we're going to go back and talk about all of these patches are equal, but they display a different beauty and they all come together to make a quilt. That's who we are in Topeka, Kansas, center of the US of A. Thank you. God bless you. And I pray for those spiritual leaders in that area because our spiritual leaders are here in Topeka, advocates, clergy, and counselors, and all these fine people for our babies. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Next on our agenda is disposition of business by consent. Is there a motion?
Mr. President, I move the board approve the items of business by consent as presented and authorize the board president or the superintendent to sign the special project and purchasing contracts for and on behalf of the board.
Thank you very much. There is a motion. Is there a second? Second with, let's see, Dr. Bonebrake. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. Ms. Lister. Thank you very much. Next item, we have an action item, which is approval of the proposed 2022-2023 academic calendar. We had a presentation of the various options. Obviously, one of them, which is this one, was the overwhelming favorite. Is there a motion on this action item?
Mr. President, I move the board approve the 2023-2024 calendar as presented.
All right, there is a motion. Any questions or comments? Yes, Ms. Boley.
When I was out and about in the schools, I had a concern that was brought up to me about 2 different areas where we were able to vote on that calendar. And I was just checking to make sure we only had one. It came just from our district and that there were no other sites that the teachers could vote on.
All right.
Would you like to add to that? We produced a survey, and that is the data that we presented as well. So would you like to add to that?
So yes, that survey was an anonymous survey through SurveyMonkey, developed by Dr. Kipp, and I believe sent to all staff through Dr. Gray.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that that was a true fact since it was brought to my attention. So the calendar that is up and present is the one that we're voting on, and the staff in 501 is voted on, correct? Thank you.
Yeah, I did receive some feedback on this calendar stating that they thought that the work that went into it to provide a week, I believe during Thanksgiving, that it'll be off, I think is much appreciated. The idea that, you know, that for everybody's sort of health and that break there, in addition to the break of during holiday season, as well as the break during spring break, I think all of that is sort of spaced out in a way that makes sure that everybody has the time they need and then also is able to come back rested and ready to go to make sure our students are successful. So, all right, seeing no other comments or actions, we'll go ahead and move to a vote. Ms. Lister. You're right. Is there a second on that? Okay, Dr. Schumacher with the second, Ms. Lister. And now we're going to move to a vote. Ms. Lister. All right, thank you very much. Next item, Dr. Anderson, do we have anything for executive session today?
Sir, we do not have anything for executive session. As you prepare and there are discussion items, as you prepare to conclude, given Ms. Morrissey is here, we did leave at the the letters that we have produced for the community. We don't normally address public address in this space. However, given the comment made is regarding an item that has been addressed to the community with action steps that some community members may not be aware of, we have produced that document. And if you would like, Ms. Morrissey or I can also just reiterate what action steps and commendations have been thus far, if that is desired in this space.
That would be great to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of where we stand as a district with regards to that.
Okay, great. Ms. Morrissey, if you can join at the podium to also address overall the commendations that have been given, as well as the overall steps that we listed 4 actions, and that is in a letter that's been given out. If you'd like a copy of the letter, you're in the audience right now. If you just raise your hand, a member of the communications team will bring that to you. If we have some additional ones for the purpose of the board to put at their table, although we know you have already received it. And her colleague. One, what they expect from at athletic games. The team or principal, the athletic team, that it is an environment that's the most safe and positive environment possible. The third, that we have current ongoing training are offering to anyone that wants to participate, particularly the other, if they would like any of the resources, whether it's regarding restorative practices or we are willing and excited to continue those partnerships. One of those MOUs is with the Midwest Equity Plan that serves the entire Midwest. That's a to the we've been consequences into a number of students in the other opposing district. Turn it over to Ms. Writing any other comment that she'd like to make. To know those Ms. Coach, women basketball coach, speaking with all
Mr. Munoz, Ms. Bowling, Dr. Anderson. It's always a pleasure to be here. I wish this is more sad than most of the things I'm here for, but to Dr. Anderson's point, she's hit most of it. I did step out, I'm sorry, but I stepped out to print the letter that came from the principals. I worked all week with my counterpart there, and I think this letter may have got lost. And I'd like you to have a copy, because in providing information to him, and I spoke both to the boys team, I did a follow-up again, asking for firsthand what people had heard, not what was rumored or what was out in social media, because that sometimes gets carried away. But we had plenty by the end of the week that was not only poor sportsmanship, which is Rule 52, but certainly racist comments and racist actions that were unacceptable. In addition, we wanted to acknowledge a couple of things. And the very first one was how well our students handled themselves and how well Coach Lyons handled himself. In fact, when the first comment happened, it was Coach Lyons' childhood line. And the comment was directly made to him. And he turned instantly to our students who had already comported themselves brilliantly. But he just said, we will not react and we will continue to be who we are, which is my message. We are always going to act as we're supposed to, because we represent Trojan Nation and TPS. And I thought that that was important. We also wanted to acknowledge to their community that we knew that not everything, there was plenty that was accurate that needs to be addressed, and they know that. But that those things that had gotten out there that weren't accurate, we wanted to acknowledge that as well, and acknowledge that the vast majority of their community came out even in social media supporting us and in defiance of any kind of behavior like that. What has been a plus from this is that their community, predominantly of African-American students, they have 36 of over 1,000, have found a voice through us to continue to speak out about what occurs to them and what they felt at times has been brushed under the table. They have a brand new principal. It's his first year, I can only imagine, but it means he's had a fresh set of eyes to stand back and really look and listen. And I think that's been powerful. Immediately, our students are amazing. Even on Monday, fresh after this had occurred, what our boys asked for was two things. When I said I did traditional restorative, what happened? Give me the facts. Harm to self, harm to others. How do we repair the harm and what do we do moving forward? And I said, what would you like to see? And the first thing was true change, true change. And this was hard for me. I've done 30 years of coaching. And I have had multiple teams that are very diverse, have to step into environments that are less than friendly and deal with this. And we shouldn't still be dealing with this 30 years from when I started this. So it has been hard from that vantage point of my sons playing on diverse teams and hearing this, of being a coach. But it also is an opportunity for growth. Our kids instantly, that's what they wanted, true change. And the second thing they wanted is for us to be able to host them someday and show them the respect that we did not get. That's powerful. That's powerful. And that's all they asked for. So someday I hope we're able to play them again. Almost immediately, our student leadership came forward, and we are working through their student leadership, who also wants to see change, and they want to work together. That's going to happen. It takes time for everybody to get past the incident, the anger, the denial, the healing, everything that needs to happen. But we want to be able to do that, have representatives of both teams. And honestly, during the game, I thought both teams handled themselves well. In spite of the fact, and I have continue to work with Keisha on what referees do in these situations when we are not. Administrators are really, our schools make up Keisha. They are an organizational body that simply carries out the rules that we make. So it is our responsibility throughout the state as administrators to enforce the policies. But when that's not occurring, referees certainly have the ability to stop the game and to insist that administrators do their job. And I've continued to push that with people there who I've known most of my career. And we will continue to do that. I've also followed through with my teams and my coaches, because I know how he feels when he says, should I have stopped? Should we have walked away? And the reality is, I've learned if we step and walk away, then the message becomes we quit, walked away. And instead, by handling ourselves the way we did, the message has been exactly what the message needed to be about, so that we can facilitate change. And that hopefully over time, we can see the isms go away. And in this case, racism needs to go away. But I was very proud. So if you didn't see this letter, I believe it addresses very specifically, it was an attachment, some of the things that you've asked for. Because I do also believe that we wanted to be very truthful. We wanted to make sure that what we put out was specific, so that everybody understood the growth that's happened, and we're not done working with each other. I've shared KIPP core resources with them on restorative practices. They're interested there, and they actually have some of our former admin. Lauren Peel, now Frederick, is in their district. She's been trained on both restorative practices, and she's been through courageous conversations when I had her at Eisenhower. So they have the staff there to do things. And I really have felt they're very open to. It's been tough that we did handle ourselves well, and we've been able to use this to be a voice both for students as well as for adults.
Thank you, Ms. Morrissey. I just have to commend her in the letter that they have. They have the joint letter from the principals on one half of the paper that we've passed out. And on the other side is the action steps that were given from me. Both Ms. Morrissey's leadership, she was at the game, her continued demonstration of excellence throughout this facilitation as we investigate first and we act second. She's done that well and as she says, true Trojan fashion. As well as her students and the community at large. So we thank all who have participated in that. And we are looking forward to next step and continued progress with the swift action steps that we've produced as of last Friday. That is the update in that regard, Mr. Munoz, and certainly we'll turn it back over to you if there are other points of discussion in that regard.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions, Dr. Bonebrake?
I understand there's maybe some concern about safety, and was any officials, any security there?
Administratively, they had presence, yes. I can't speak to whether they had an officer present or not, but I escorted both teams. We walked out to the parking lot. There was not an incident on the way to the vehicles.
Because when I was in high school, there were incidents before and after games, and it wasn't racially indicated. It was just Manhattan and Junction City just didn't get along.
Sportsmen.
Yeah,
Sportsmanship is beyond that.
it would have helped. Maybe if you'd been principal.
Yes, Ms. Bowley.
So I'll be really interested to have you come back to us after the student council, the student body come together to see what true change looks like for them and what they would like to see in place. And so I would really love to hear what that turns into for Topeka High and maybe our other buildings as well. And so I appreciate your leadership in this. I appreciate your guidance for the other community and understanding what they need to do and supporting our students. And I agree, I believe it was Miss Lister who said that I do think that we should be celebrating our team and our coach as well for representing themselves and also our district so well. So if that doesn't happen, please thank them for us. Yes, and keep some of that for yourself.
It's been a blessing because I'm pretty harsh on Rule 52. We don't holler airball even in most places we go to. And our kids now understand why I don't, because any kind of poor sportsmanship can grow into ugliness. And so that's been a blessing for me. They now understand why I'm hard on them about that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Do you have what? Mr. Campbell, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to commend Dr. Anderson and Ms. Morrissey for just your swift response, the investigate first and then act, and turning this into, I mean, it's just, the reality of it all was really disappointing, but turning it into a learning opportunity and also, working with the other superintendent and principal. So this can be just a growth opportunity for all. So thank you.
Thank you very much for all of your work. Okay, next item on our agenda is it's adjournment. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share in terms of commentary before we go? And what I mean by that is my colleagues here. Dr. Bonebrake, anything that you'd like to share before we go? All right, Dr. Schumacher.
Yeah, I'll just say one thing, that I appreciate the comments from the community of Miss Lassiter. I know that the children that Miss Lassiter has served it's important to her. I've spoken with her before about the lives that she's touched. And I will just say that the first home basketball game after that was a pretty hopping place. And so for us to continue to support not only Topeka High, but all of our schools in their athletic endeavors, because they're all having pretty good seasons so far. So
Thank you very much. Ms. Stewart Campbell.
Happy holidays. Have a great vacation, everyone.
Ms. Bowley.
I would like to wish the same thing and say I am so grateful that we live in such a diverse community that I'm able to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, all of the holidays that we experience in the Topeka area. And we are just so blessed to be able to introduce all of that to our students and ourselves. And I just want to wish everybody a peaceful break when our world slows down a little bit. So enjoy.
I'll just echo everybody's commentary and wish everybody a happy holidays. Thank you all for being here today. I am looking for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I move that we adjourn.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays.